Welcome to Just Cap Entertainment. In the future, when people have explored the universe and a planet called Samari, Mills is currently watching his daughter Naveen playing on the beach and tells his wife, Alia, that he has accepted a 2-year job of exploration. Normally he takes a shorter period job, but this time he wants to earn more to pay for Naveen's treatment. Mills teaches Naveen how to whistle using her hands and then tells her about his trip. At a later time, Mills pilots a spacecraft carrying a team in cryogenic hibernation. One day, the ship is hit by meteorites that were not expected and starts to break apart. Mills quickly goes to the cockpit to send an emergency signal and tries to land the ship on the closest planet. Unfortunately, the ship breaks up into 2 parts, and Mills thinks about his daughter before losing consciousness as the ship crashes. After waking up, Mills hears the computer report they are in an unfamiliar place. He finds a metal object stuck in his stomach and removes it, treating the wound. Then he puts on his astronaut suit and starts examining the ship, and realizes that the cryochamber has been damaged. Mills leaves the ship with a laser gun and finds himself standing in water with a mysterious creature swimming around him. He discovers that none of his crew survived and is heartbroken. After inspecting the ship and realizing the escape pod is on the other half that landed elsewhere, he sends out another distress signal stating that he is on unexplored land. Mills, feeling hopeless, decides to end his life with his gun, but memories of Naveen prevent him from doing so. He then listens to the tapes of Naveen's messages to hear her voice again. Suddenly, the computer detected a live person at a working capsule nearby. He immediately rushes to investigate and finds a passenger Koa inside and saves her. As Mills and the duo return to their ship, they spot a large paw print on the ground, indicating that they are on Earth 65 million years ago and surrounded by dinosaurs. Mills has a nightmare about Naveen demanding his location while spending the night on the ship. The next day, Mills decides to escape to save the girl and tries to locate the other half of the vessel using the ship's computer, but it is unsuccessful. Mills goes outside to explore his surrounding and finds big bones that suggest there are dangerous predators nearby. He also gets hit by a hot geyser accidentally and sees something shiny far away, which turns out to be the other half of the ship at a mountain very far. While trying to figure out how to get there, he's attacked by a small dinosaur. Mills fought with struggle and finally killed the creature with his gun. After that, he still hears some noise by the woods before discovering that Koa had left him for the ship. He chased after her and they both fell before stumbling upon a dead dinosaur. Suddenly the trees start shaking before being chased by a larger dinosaur. Mills rescued Koa and they return safely to the ship. As he tends to her injury, he tries to explain the situation and realizes there is a language barrier and the translator on the ship is broken. Mills then uses powder to draw a picture of the mountain with the pod, indicating that they must reach it. Koa draws her family as she understands it, and Mills lies to her saying that her family is at the mountain to keep her calm. He also sends out an SOS message claiming to have found a survivor. Meanwhile, Koa discovers recordings of Naveen revealing that she was sent to the hospital due to her illness getting worse during the first year of their travels. At first, the girl was happy and proud of her dad, but later as time goes by she became angry with him for not being there for her. When Mills caught Koa watching the tapes, he turned them off and tells her that they are leaving. They make sure to stay quiet to avoid attracting predators while walking through the wilderness. Mills and Koa have a long and tough journey, but every time Koa gets into trouble, Mills helps her and they grow closer. One day, Koa sees something red in the sky but doesn't say anything. Eventually, when they are walking, Koa picks up some berries to throw at Mills just to annoy him. Mills gets frustrated and scans the berries to show they are poisonous and tells Koa not to touch them. Later, a big bug lands on Mills' neck and he kills it. His hands is covered in a gross substance and he tries to brush it off on a tree, but the substance is so strong that he falls and gets a piece of bark stuck to his hand, which Koa finds amusing. Mills tries to touch her with his dirty hand to make her laugh, but when a small tree falls in front of them, they hear strange noise behind a ledge and discovers a small dinosaur stuck in a pit. Koa feels sorry for it and runs to help, which Mills considers too risky. Koa does not pay attention, so Mills helps her quickly. When the small creature is free, it takes a few steps but immediately attacked by predators and killed. They hide right away from the predators to spare her the sight of the gruesome scene, but she still knows what happens to it. After that, they move forward and rest near a waterfall to clean themselves and refill their water bottle. Mills is anxious about his stomach wound, but seeing Koa reminds him of Naveen, which encourages him to keep moving. Koa discovers some flowers and persuades Mills to let her place one in his hair. After losing track of the mountain's location on his scanner, Mills climbs a tree to scan the area again. While on the tree, he finds a bug on his hand and shakes his arm, causing him to fall and dislocate his arm. Mills and Koa are trying to reset Mills' arm by using a tree when a group of dinosaurs hears them and starts to move towards them. Mills instructs Koa to stand on his arm for more pressure, and as soon as he recovers, he grabs the gun and fires at the creatures. Mills calls Koa to escape and then he detonates some bombs, eliminating a large portion of the dinosaurs. He then proceeds to shoot the remaining ones. While hiding behind a log, Koa encounters a group of flying dinos. Regrettably, the creatures from earlier discover her, and as they are about to attack her, Mills arrives and kills them all. One of them was hiding and then suddenly attacked Koa from behind, dragging her away from Mills. He scares away a creature with his gun firing to the sky, and the creature finally releases her. Koa is now shocked with this incident and Mills decides to give her time to calm herself. He then whistles to try to calm her down and Koa responds by whistling back with her family's unique method. After a long walk, the pair arrives at a cave where they will sleep. Mills sets up sensors to detect danger and scans the sky, finally noticing the meteorite's proximity. They have accepted to keep moving forward. It's a small one though, so he doesn't worry. Koa brings one of Naveen's tapes and distracts Mills with it. Though Mills is initially upset, he eventually listens to the tape as it brings comfort to both of them. Mills is unable to sleep as he keeps thinking about the day Alya informed him about Naveen's death, which makes him emotional. He is then awakened by sensors signaling a potential threat that he finds a bug in Koa's mouth and quickly uses a tool to kill it, causing Koa to cough out the remnants. The sensors start making noise and a dinosaur suddenly appears outside the cave. Mills shoots the dinosaur a few times and he and Koa quickly escape through a small hole at the back of the cave. The pair start searching for an exit but don't realize that a smaller dinosaur is trailing them. They walk through tight passages but are disappointed to find they've reached a dead end. Mills attempts to enlarge a tiny space between rocks by digging, but after a few hours, he abandons the effort due to lack of progress. Koa gets angry when she realizes something is wrong and insists on trying again because she keeps mentioning her family, but Mills tells her they are dead and she doesn't understand. Mills then comes up with an idea to use bombs to make the hole bigger for Koa to explore safely. Koa goes through a small opening and checks if there is enough space on the other side, and Mills follows her. But suddenly the opening collapses, and Mills becomes frustrated when he loses contact with Koa. He hears a dinosaur approaching and decides to go back to the previous cave to use his scanner to locate it. Mills anticipates an attack from the creature and shoots it, but it hits him, causing him to drop his weapon. The creature bites Mills' arm, but he fights back and uses a scanner to emit a loud noise that hurts the dinosaur's ears. Mills takes his gun and shoots at the distracted animal while Koa manages to escape outside. She explores the forest alone and finds a large bone for weapon. Then wraps it with toxic berries and a leaf before she puts it away in her bag. After escaping the cave, Mills discovers that the meteorite he saw earlier is coming closer, then uses his scanner to realize it was just a fragment of a larger one that will cause a catastrophic extinction event in a few hours. Mills tries looking for Koa before he hears her scream, but as he approaches a dinosaur appears. Koa hides in a tree trunk while he runs towards her but falls into a pit of quicksand. He tries to call out to Koa but sinks slowly until he can no longer speak. Koa hears Mills' call and gathers her strength and waits for the dinosaur to enter the tree trunk before dropping the bomb inside. Koa then reached the quicksand to assist Mills by bending over a tree. The duo reunites and hugged before Mills briefed Koa on the meteorite, showing they need to hurry. The pair finally reaches the mountain in the evening. Koa climbs up first after Mills ties a rope around her. She ties the rope in a very intricate way around trees and rocks so it can support Mills' weight as he climbs up. After finding the other half of the ship, Mills immediately checks the computer to see if a rescue ship is approaching. Koa goes searching for her family and finds all the obliterated cryotanks, realizing her family is gone. Mills pulls out a picture of Naveen as she is crying and explains that he lost his daughter while working, so he can't let that happen again. Koa then hugs Mills and he apologizes to her. Unexpectedly, meteorites have started falling on the planet, so they race to get inside the emergency pod. Suddenly a meteorite hit the ship, sending the pod down the mountain and knocking out them both. Koa awakens first and presses the launch button, but the computer explains it's not possible at the current pod position. A dinosaur appears and begins to attack the pod as Mills begins to awaken. He must risk leaving the pod to retrieve the gun as it fell to the ground, only to discover that it does not work. Then another dinosaur joins and Mills rushes to take cover behind a piece of the ship and fixes his gun. The dinosaurs surround him, then Koa gets the Naveen tape and plays it on the scanner to make a visualization of her. Mills cries when he sees his daughter, thinking it will be the last time. Apparently the dinosaurs are deceived and attack the hologram first. That while distracted, Mills eliminates the first dino, while the second attacks the ship for Koa. Mills immediately pursues it as well, and after a few accurately timed shots, this dinosaur also dies. Thanks to the dino's push, the pod is now at the right position to launch. Before Mills can return, the dino that he had shot back in the cavern returns. He rushes to the geysers with a strategy in mind and forces the dinosaur to walk into a hot shower that hits its face. Sadly, it doesn't do much damage, but Koa shows up and uses the bone she made earlier to stab the dinosaur in the eye. The dinosaur begins thrashing and strolls on top of another geysers. This time the impact hits it on the stomach and it dies. After that, they come back to the pod and manage to escape just in time, avoiding the meteorite that wiped the dinosaurs. The autopilot directs the pod to position where a rescue vessel will be waiting for them. Koa holds Mills' hand to comfort him as he closes his eyes and hoping that he will soon see Naveen again because they are going home.